made a promise to him on his grave. I need to bring us together. There are enemies coming from far away.
They serve an old power.
This world is divided. No protectors here. No lanterns. No Kryptonium. It will fall in his name. I have turned worlds to dust. All of existence shall be mine.
I have a second chance. I am not gonna waste it.
They said the Age of Heroes would never come again.
Fighting the devil and his army. You know, I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many.
Aloha! This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, coming to you live once again from beautiful Hawaii here on the island of Oahu, bringing you, yes you, the best movie reviews on the entire island of Oahu. And yes, this is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man. And yes, as you can see, it is still another rainy day here on Oahu. And so we are here on my lanai, bringing you another great movie review. And I am happy to say that I saw Zack Snyder's Justice League. For those of you who remember or have gone back and recently watched my original review of Justice League 2 years ago with, the one directed by Josh Whedon. Technically, Zack Snyder's still the director, but Josh Whedon was brought in by Warner Brothers to change up, basically make it a lot lighter in tone. Kind of what he did for the Avengers, and also shorten up the movie. We later found out that Zack Snyder not only stepped away from Justice League because of the tragedy of the suicide of his daughter, but due to actually being fired by Warner Brothers as well, having lost faith in him in the direction that they have taken, or that Zack had taken, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, etc., and then finally Justice League, planning to do it into at least 2 movies, maybe more. The Snyderverse, with the bringing in of Josh Whedon, totally erased all that and set the new tone for what DC has started to do with Warner Brothers, i.e., unfortunately, Wonder Woman 1984, the Flash movie that has been upended so many times, which they say is still coming, despite multiple directors coming in and quitting for that movie, etc. No longer a Cyborg movie, and due to the controversy of Josh Whedon coming in and doing Justice League, taking over for Zack Snyder, Ray Parker, Cyborg, there's no Cyborg movie. He has pretty much on social media lambasted all of Warner Brothers, Josh Whedon, etc., with, the news that he was mistreated, along with several other castmates, on, Josh Whedon's directing style on Justice League. Where that stands, nobody knew. Even I, in my review of Josh Whedon's Frankenstein monster of a movie, Justice League, where I gave it a shock of thumbs down originally, I said it would be very interesting to see what was Zack Snyder's vision in this, what parts were his and what part was Josh Whedon. Looking at it and watching it, I felt you could tell what it was about. That you could feel the Buffy-isms within Justice League that were totally not Snyder's movie. Now, of course, he didn't have time to shoot a whole new movie, so he certainly had to use and change up a lot of what Zack Snyder had shot. But it would have been nice to see what it was and to differentiate the two. Well, now we have our chance. Thanks to HBO Max coming on hot and heavy with its new streaming service. They put $100 million to finish up the Snyder cut of Justice League. And make no doubt about it, it needed that $100 million to finish effects, to have people come back and get additional scenes shot, etc., just to make it work properly. And I have to say, well, rating this new Zack Snyder Justice League movie, a 4-hour movie, it is a shaka thumbs up. And I'd have to say it was a strong shaka thumbs up. Now, 4 hours... I don't know if I would have went to the movie theater to see this movie. So again, it is good that it was streaming. I had to take several breaks to go to use the bathroom, make dinner, get the dinner, sit down, unpress pause again. So it was very convenient to have it at home. But I didn't mind, that being said, I did not mind watching all 4 hours at once in one sitting. We are the streaming culture now, the binge culture, what Marvel is running into right now with its streaming service, with not dropping everything all at once, but doing the weekly thing, very much like Amazon. I don't like that. I'm a Netflix guy. Give me all the series at once, drop it, and so I can just binge it through the weekend or whatever. 4 hours, no sweat for this movie at home. Movie theaters probably would have been a problem. It definitely would have needed an intermission, to say the least. But that being said, it is still a shaka thumbs up. Zack Snyder's Justice League with Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, Ray Parker. Was it Ray Parker? Yeah, Ray Parker. What did I say? Ray Fisher before? I'm sorry. Ray Parker. That Flash guy, Ezra Miller. Everyone was really good in it. I still hated the Flash guy, Ezra Miller. I'm not a fan of his. But I can see what the beef was with Ray Parker. Maybe it is Ray Fisher. Ray Fisher, what his beef was with this movie. Because, everybody has a good connecting movie. Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, was pretty much Batman's show for the most part. Introduces Wonder Woman, and then she got her movie. What people say about Batman versus Superman was there was not enough Superman in that movie. But he had a whole movie beforehand. This one, we don't dive into the origins of Superman because we already know. We don't dive into the origins of Batman or Wonder Woman because we already know. But we get essential pieces from the Flash, the stuff, and Ray Parker's Cyborg character, or Ray Fisher's Cyborg character, that we were missing in Josh Whedon's version of this film earlier. Everything that we had seen from the trailers previously, from all those years ago, Cyborg stopping a tank, Flash saving Iris West, etc., all were in this. And I can see why Ray Fisher was very upset with the diss that Josh Whedon did to him, because all of his backstory was primarily cut from this movie. And, I can understand that. Josh Whedon's classic comic book guy. And Cyborg never really classically was in the Justice League until most recent in iterations, always being with the Teen Titans. That being said, this backstory was essential, and that backstory of him being associated with these mother boxes from this alien technology, he is really the vehicle that Zack Snyder had set up in this movie for all of us to, as human beings without powers, maybe facing personal tragedies. He is the man set up to be our vehicle to drive and ride with throughout this movie. As much of it is focused on him, and basically he, as it turns out in Josh's, is the one that saves the day with being able to reprogram the mother boxes. So that part wasn't changed. There's no stupid Russian family in this part. People do die in it. Several people die, not any of the heroes, mind you, but of course. But I mean, civilians die, people are killed, which is a much darker in tone, something more reminiscent of Zack Snyder's work, which again really emphasizes the tone and the gravitas that somebody like Steppenwolf being redesigned looks a lot fiercer, a lot meaner, and the introduction of Darkseid, which would have taken place more in the secondary movie. But here at least he is introduced and seen as the ultimate threat. So that is much greater emphasis put on that. And even, we can see a little bit of the future world that Batman was shown in Batman vs. Superman, when the Flash comes back to warn him that Lois Lane is the key. A little bit of that is answered in this, but again, almost like a post-credit scene, we see a future where maybe it's Batman's plan when he's teamed up with the Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, Deathstroke, Mira, from Aquaman, because Jason Momoa's Aquaman's dead in this post-apocalyptic future. We see Ezra Miller with the beard and the long hair, the one that goes back in time, and we see Cyborg. So maybe it's Batman's plan, as there's an evil Superman, as we had seen in Batman vs. Superman, to have Flash go back in time and warn him who to save, Lois Lane, to make sure this evil Superman never takes place. Possibly. Much of this, or more of this, may be touched upon in this Flash movie if it ever gets made. But pretty much, this is, have no doubt about it, this is an entirely different movie than what had hit theaters. Not only longer, but much more entertaining. Again, much of a darker tone. Really hits hard in the hearts. I mean, some of it had tears in my eyes, whereas I was just, the only crying in Joss Whedon's Justice League I was doing was that I paid a ticket to see that mess. But this one I was very happy with. It was much more satisfying. So again, a strong shock of thumbs up. If you have 4 hours, you want to cut it up into 2 nights to watch this movie. It is broken into parts, so you could watch each part. There's 4 parts to the movie, although it does run all straight through. Because they were considering on HBO Max to have it be released in 4 weeks, one episode a week. But because of contracts, actor contracts, manager contracts, to do so they would have to pay everyone a lot more money, and the $100 million to Zack Snyder to finish up this movie with special effects and reshooting scenes, finishing up scenes, that was as far as HBO Max wanted to go with this. And we know how far Warner Brothers wanted to go with this version of Zack Snyder's. They didn't want to go anywhere originally, and it is thankful to the fans alone that motivated HBO Max to say, hey, we can use this to prop up our streaming service, which I'm sure they have gotten a lot more publicity with, thanks to this film being completed by Zack Snyder. And he really does try to, he acknowledges his thanks to the fans, allowing this to happen by, prompting this to happen to Warner Brothers. The film starts off, there's no stupid Joss Whedon, bad mouth Superman, Henry Cavill, bad CGI mouth in this. It is Zack Snyder doing an introduction, thanking all the fans for their support to make this movie possible. So that's a nice touch. And as fan service, we are given the black-suited Superman, that he was originally going to wear the black suit, which never made it into the Joss Whedon movie. And definite fan service, I would say, would be Martian Manhunter being in this movie. Maybe this was a idea that Zack had all along, but it really, if anything, that really felt shoehorned in there. So I don't believe that was his entire fully realized rationale all the way through it with Martian Manhunter. It's a nice nod of the hat. He doesn't really do anything. He's just like, hey, I'm the Martian Manhunter. I'm here. It's like, who the heck are you? Or where'd you come from? It's like, well, I'm Manhunter. I'm Martian. I'm the Martian Manhunter. See you around. That's like, so maybe in the second movie he would have been more prominent, but that's about it. That's all he does. So obvious fan service from Zack Snyder on Martian Manhunter. If it wasn't so nostalgic and, tip of the hat to the fans, I would almost say that it was a waste of time to have him in it. I mean, if Warner Brothers had Zack Snyder do this movie originally for, theaters, then that probably would have been cut out because it really doesn't add anything to the movie outside of just plain simple fan service. So I don't know, I don't know what more to say about this. It is a strong shock and thumbs up. All the character interactions, you get a lot more with Bruce Wayne and Jason Momoa, Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, where he's meeting Arthur Curry. It's a lot more serious than what was portrayed in the Joss Whedon. There's no butt shots of Wonder Woman in this movie. But to be fair, there is some jiggly, bits of her breasts that you might see in some shots. But, that's just a fashion choice and not maybe a Whedonism that we found out maybe his Achilles heel with a lot of his stars. But Wonder Woman comes off a lot stronger. The Amazon battle with Steppenwolf is a lot more powerful. Even the explanation of the battle with it turns out to be a battle with Darkseid instead of Steppenwolf, being defeated. That is our first scene of being defeated by the old gods and the Fellowship of Men, to use a Lord of the Rings kind of analogy, which is what it seems like. All of everyone on Earth coming together to fight off these invaders originally back in the ancient times when Zeus and Hades and everyone was there. Poseidon even leading the Atlanteans before they went underwater to take to push Darkseid away. There's a little bit of a plot about that would have come into the second movie. I think about the anti-life equation, which is in the comics about some big equation, mathematical equation or something that's ultimately gives a Darkseid greater power, ability to rule the universe easier than what he has currently. So, I'm not big into DC on that scale, so I can't really talk to that all that much. But it is mentioned in this movie as a plot point that could have been used for future movies as well. All right, so again, a strong shock, a thumbs up for the Zack Snyder 4-hour Justice League movie on HBO Max. I believe it's going to hit some theaters in limited capacities, but I think it's best to just watch it at home at your leisure with these 4 hours in the comfort with the bathroom being able to be used on pause with it on streaming on HBO Max. All right, thank you so much. This is Trinidad the Island Man, your Island Man, saying mahalo and aloha.